Today we're going to be installing some magnetic paddle shifters in my C8 Corvette.
Hi, I'm Jennifer and you're watching the Corvette channel.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Scott and today we're going to be showing you how to install magnetic paddle shifters in a C8 Corvette. Now, most of you are like, okay, well, I already have paddle shifters. Yes, you do, but they are fairly bland. They're just kind of a make-break switch inside there, and sometimes when you're driving, you don't even realize that you've actually pushed the button. On these magnetic ones, they give you a sound as well as a tactile feel that you know that it has clicked and it's shifted, and so you can listen to this and hear how that sounds. And you're feeling that in the shifter also. So when you're driving it, you can feel that. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and install them on this car. I'm gonna show you how to install them, and that way you'll know how to do it when it comes time that you want to get a set for yourself. So sit back and relax, and I'm gonna show you how it's done. All right, guys. We are here sitting at the car, and what we've got to do is we've got to gain access. We're going to have to take our steering wheel off. So I'm going to try to get my head out of the way so you guys can see it. I'll try to be able to zoom in on it when we go to do edits and things like that, so give you the best view, and I'll try to explain some of the things once we get the steering wheel off, what we were doing that you might not be able to see during this, okay? Now, if you've never touched your steering wheel before, there's like right here behind your paddle shifter, right on the base of the plastic that's right here, okay? There is a little access door. Now let me see if I'm gonna get my head in here just for a second so I can get my little screwdriver here, and then you can see that I'm just prying that out of the way. Okay, so you're just gonna get that, and you're gonna pop this little door open. And it has this little clip right here, right? Just a little cover. All right, we're gonna set that off to the side. There's one on the other side of the steering wheel also, which I'll turn the steering wheel so you can see that one. It's right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull that one loose and get that one out of the way. And you probably, even with your fingernails, you probably can even get it that way, but it's much easier with a screwdriver. There we go. You can see it just comes off. Now what we're going to do here is that the reason we're taking those covers off, we've got to get the airbag out. Okay? And so we've got to be able to, when we take these covers off, there's a 10mm bolt that's on both sides of the steering wheel. So literally, I mean, I'll go ahead and I'll take this one loose from here, and I'll be able to show this to you in a little more detail once we get the wheel off. Okay, but before you start this, the one thing I did before I started doing this install is I took the battery cable loose, the negative battery cable on the car, and it's been disconnected for about 30 minutes, okay? The reason being is that we don't want to activate the airbag by chance, by accident, and we end up with blowing the airbag up in our face and screwing it up, okay? So, over here like that, okay? And we'll take the other 10mm bolt out right here. Okay. And I'll tell you guys, this is a lot easier to take off than it was in the C7 era, where you had to push the little pins in to be able to get the airbag out. These are actually a bolt, and it makes it so much easier to actually get them out of there. Let's see if we can get this one loose. We're almost there. Hopefully I'm not in your way. There we go, we've got our bolt out. Okay, so now what that does is now we can take our airbag loose. Okay, we can pull it out. Okay. Okay, so once we've got those connectors here available for us to be able to look at, we'll get them kind of positioned here so we can kind of get to them. And what that's going to reveal is that, I don't know if you can see that, we'll show it here a little bit better, hopefully. I might be able to zoom in. But there's some little orange looking little tabs, and they're spring loaded. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to take, there's one on each side of the connector, and so I'm going to take a hook and I'm going to lift that connector up. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so that's one. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. And we're going to wiggle that free. And if you're sitting in the driver's seat and you're doing this, this will be a much easier deal for you. I'm trying to actually stay out of the view of the camera so you guys can actually see this, but you can see how that came free. And we'll talk about that here in a second. I'll show it to you once we get it clear. Okay, but yeah, we're literally we're just prying that, and they're spring loaded, so it doesn't take a lot to do it. Okay, but we're gonna, let me see if we've got another hook here that I might be able to use. Just like that. There we go. So now we'll go ahead and we'll be able to pull the airbag loose once we disconnect the horn connection right here. Okay, and that is kind of a press in. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. You don't want to just yank on these wires, but what you want to do is you can take a pick, or you can take a screwdriver, and you can actually fish it down in there like this. And I'm hoping this camera is picking all this up. Okay, like that, and pull it loose. Now your airbag is free. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll set that off to the side. We won't need that for a while. Now, what we're going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sit in the car. I have no choice with this part of it. And I'm going to actually have my wife, Jennifer, help me. But what we're going to be doing, and again, I'll kind of explain this to you in the once we get the steering wheel off. But there is a big 50 Torx nut that's right here that holds the steering wheel on. So you can see that I've got this big, massive breaker bar. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and we're going to, put that on here. We're going to break that bolt free, but I have to hold the steering wheel. Now, this would be probably the hardest part of what we're going to be doing. And if you've never had your steering wheel off before, this is pretty tough. It really is. General Motors puts on Loctite in there, and it is really, really hard. Now, there's been times where I've tried various things. One, just using a breaker bar by myself, that doesn't ever tend to work. I've also tried using an impact gun. That can be very dangerous. You'll end up breaking the bolt. You can do a lot of different things to your center console, or your console, your center steering wheel shaft. So you don't want to do that either. So what I found is that applying a constant pressure, it'll break that the Loctite free, and it'll just come apart nice and easy, and you're not going to hurt anything. Okay, so this is the one spot where you're probably going to need a buddy to help you. Okay, but anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that now. All right, guys. So what we're doing here is we got to get this center nut out. Okay, so now I've had this steering wheel off because this is a carbon fiber digital readout steering wheel. So if you haven't already taken this nut out, and this is going to be your very first one ever taking it off, this is going to be a bear. You're going to need to have a big breaker bar with your 50 Torx. Now I have already had this steering wheel off and changed it out, so this isn't going to be an issue. So I'm just going to be able to do it with a ratchet. But if you end up having this, don't use a impact gun, guys. You take the chance of messing something up inside the shaft here. So I highly recommend that you don't. But anyway, what you can do there is just go ahead and you're going to turn this, and you'll probably have to hold the steering wheel. Like I said, mine was already broke free from all the Loctite that was in there, so it's a little bit easier. I'm making it look a lot easier than it is, trust me. But then at that point, you're going to get this to a point where it's just freewheeling there. So then at that point, you can go ahead and you can take your nut free. Now, let me show you the other piece of this. So uh, when you're taking your steering wheel loose for the very first time, most likely it's going to be jammed on there. It's going to be super tight, and you're going to be like, okay, well, the nut's loose. It doesn't want to come off. So what you want to do is to just unthread the nut a little bit to give yourself like a quarter of an inch of travel. And then at that point, you can jerk on the steering wheel, right? And it won't hurt anything. You don't take any chance of messing up the clock spring behind it or any of the wires or anything like that because you only have just a little bit of travel. So, but it gives you room to break it free. So like that, you would just do that. You grab it, you just go like that. You might have to do that 2 or 3 times like that to get it to break free because you're going to be jerking on it. But eventually it will pop and it'll start to move like this. Once it does, you can go ahead and continue taking the nut out. Okay, just like so. And you can set the nut out of the way. Then at that point, you've got this little wire we've got to disconnect here, this connector. You're going to pull this red tab. There's a red tab here. Let me see if I can get that up there so you can see it. You can see it right there. And you're just going to pull it outward, okay, like that. Once you pull it outward, then you can push on the bottom and it will come out. Okay, there we go, just like that. All right, guys, we are here. Well, I've just got a chair here that I've set it down and put the camera directly above it so you guys can kind of see it. But let's go over just a couple things here. Remember I was talking about the original little cover, that little guy just goes in here like that, right? And we just pried that off with a screwdriver, which revealed the 10mm bolt that actually goes in to here like that, and that's what holds the airbag on. So I just wanted to cover that so you guys can see that. Okay, so now what we've got is you've got two 20 Torx right here on each side. That's all we're going to be changing, and then we got to undo the connector. So we're just going to do a 20 Torx here. Okay, just like that. We'll pull that little guy out. Might as well just pull both sides free. There we go. Okie dokie, we got those free. We're just going to set our thing down, and now this will just kind of tilt out of the way. Same thing here on this side, right? So we'll tilt them out and lift it up, and now you can see that it's got a connector here. Okay, so we're just going to turn it so we can get to the connector. If you see right here, let me get my screwdriver. You can see right here, there's a little gray connector. You can pull that out just like so. And then you're going to push down. You're going to push like right here. So you have that gray is the safety keeper. You're going to press that down, and there's a little metal clip right there, and you can see how that just came free. Okay, so then at that point, this one we're working with the negative, our downshift paddle. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our downshift paddle, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug it in the same way. Snap it in, push the safety keeper, And now you can see that there is a, you can see how that goes, right? We're going to go ahead, we'll flip it up like so. And then this little tab is going to go right up inside the steering wheel, right? You want to make sure that your wires aren't touching, right? You're not going to put a screw through it or anything. Make sure that it gets tucked away down over here on the side, like that. And you're going to move it over like so. And then you'll go ahead and put your screws in. Okay, we'll get those started. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and use our 20 Torx again. Tighten those up. Okay, just like that. Now, let's listen to the difference here. This is the factory clip paddle shifter, and this is the JQ. Very more precise. It just sounds so much better and feels so much better. I know you guys can't feel it through the video, but it is a much stronger, better setup than the other one. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead. We're going to take this one free. Just going to pull it up, right? We'll flip it over so we can get to the connector. Again, you're taking this side, they're color coded, so you're going to be pulling this little connector out of here. See if I can do that, like so. And then you're going to press down, and it'll come out. See if I can do that. I'm trying to do it one-handed here. There we go, just like that. We'll take it free, set it down. We'll grab our new connector, our new controller here. Plug it in, plug in our safety, flip it back over. We'll put it in the lock. Okay, so it's nice and tight in there. And then we'll go ahead and start our screws. Okay. I think from this angle you guys should be able to see everything in pretty good detail here. Okay. Yep. All right, so it's ready to go back in the car. What we've got now is we've got our steering wheel. We're ready to go ahead and we're going to put it back on now. Okay, so we've got our new awesome paddle shifters here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get this centered on there like so. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our plug back in with our red safety adapter in there like so. And then we're going to take our nut. Okay, we'll get that started. Okay, and then we'll grab our ratchet. We're just reversing what we did. Okay, and as it gets tighter, right, we're going to go ahead, we're going to hold it with our knees. We're going to hold the steering wheel with our knees, and we're just going to snug that up. Okay, just like so. All right, so now what we've got is we've got our airbag. Now this is where I'm going to talk a little bit more, a little clearer. You see you got our two plugs, they're keyed. Okay, so this one here is our horn, and
hopefully this is, my camera is getting this with my glasses on here. But we'll go ahead and we'll push that together. This is keyed to only go one way. Okay, just like so. And then the same thing goes with this here. All right, you're just gonna push these on like that. And actually, before I do that, I'll show you these little. You see the little orange little guys? That's what we were doing with the our little hooks, is we were just lifting those up to make them release. Okay, and you're gonna put that back in there like so. So once we've got our airbag here in place, I'm gonna put my nut right here on the end of my ratchet, and then we're gonna go ahead and try to get this started. Okay, I'm gonna try to put these in, and they're going through that little hole that's on the back side of the steering wheel here. Okay, just like so. You're gonna try to get that going. Okay. There we go. So we just got that one started. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab the other one. I'm going to do that on this side. So it's this one, guys, it's just, you got to kind of have to feel it. I mean, you could get down there and you can turn your steering wheel and all that other stuff. But this isn't too tough. You're just going to, it'll line up. Okay. You can see that I've got it started, and you can see that the airbag is in now. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to snug those bolts up. So I'm going to put my ratchet back on and make sure that I just get these going. So I'm just going to reach down in here. And we can do this too. We can turn this upward like this, so it makes it a little bit easier. Hopefully my glasses are picking this up, but we can just do it that way. Before you snug both, or you tighten them down, you want to go ahead and before you tighten them completely up, you want to make sure that they've got both started. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and we'll turn the steering wheel back the other direction here like this, and we'll be able to go ahead and we'll get that one on, just like so. Okay, just like that. So we've got our little cap here. I've got my steering wheel turned so we can try to get it in there. These are a little bit of a pain to install. You want to make sure that you get that back clip inside the back side of the steering wheel, because you don't want it on the outside, because it won't lock in place, and number two, that it would rub up against the steering column. So you want to get it kind of like that. You want to get this tab right here behind the paddle shifter itself, and you're going to push it down into place just like that. Okay, so I'm going to turn the wheel so you kind of can see it, but you can see that it's totally smooth. So you want to make sure that you do that, right? If you don't, it'll be a real pain for you. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn the steering wheel kind of like this right here, so you can kind of see it again. We're going to take the other one. We're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to put it inside like that. It's going to go just barely behind the paddle shifter, and then you're going to want to push it until it locks down in place. Okay, just like that. And there we go. So we're good. All right, so now we've got our steering wheel back in place. It's all put back together, and now we're ready to go ahead and hook the battery back up.
So you guys saw what it took to be able to install these paddle shifters. It's not real hard, it's just a little bit of time to get it done. and I think it's very much well worth it. The textile feedback that you're getting, the sound that you know, that positive connection to know that you're making that shift, and it just feels good in your hand. And when you go to feel these for yourself, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about in comparison to the factory ones. But yet the thing that I love the most is the fact that these look just like the factory paddles, and that was what I was really wanting to do, but with the carbon fiber. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. I want to thank JQ Werks for sending me these and being able to show you guys how to install them. And I also want to be able to reach out and tell you that if you guys are looking for a set of these, I want you to go ahead and reach out to me. I'm going to put all of my information here up on the screen, and I'll be able to give you a 5% discount off of the retail. Now, JQ Werks does not offer, most of my suppliers, they don't offer any real discounts. So if you go through me, I can at least get you a discount. So these are so new, I have not had a chance to put them up on my online store. My online store is corvettechannel.net. These will be going up here real soon, and then you'll be able to order them that way. Up until then, until you see them, just reach out to me at the Corvette Channel at gmail.com and tell me that you're wanting a set of these, and I can go ahead and get you set up that way, and we'll just send you an invoice and we'll get it sent out to you. Okay, and so the ones you saw me do today, these are the glossy finish carbon fiber. They also have a matte finish carbon fiber as well as an aluminum version. So whatever your preference is, they'll be able to take care of you on that, okay? So you have a choice. You can go directly to JQ Werks, and I'll put that information right up here, or you can go to me and I can save you some money. So you have your choice on what you'd like to do, okay? Guys, I want to thank you guys all again for watching. If you guys have not already subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell, as well as the like. And I always forget to ask you for the like, and I'm finding out that that really makes a bigger difference on YouTube now. And so I'm just hoping that you guys will go ahead and do that. We really want to build the YouTube, and we want to build our online store, as well as another reminder for you guys that we are doing our live shows on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And so, you know, if you guys have any questions or concerns that you'd like to talk about, like, again, just like these paddle shifters, you know, if you have any questions about them, feel free to get on there and ask us some questions. And that, once you subscribe to the channel and you chat with us, every chat that you put in, that's an entry to be able to win something that particular show. Okay, we might be doing a hat, we might be doing a shirt, we might be doing you know, bigger ticket items that have been sponsored by various companies that are sponsoring throughout the month. So a lot of good stuff costs you absolutely nothing. So be sure and tune in. That would be great. I'd love to be able to see you, talk to you guys. Okay, but until then, I guess we will talk to you on the next one. But thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you for watching the Corvette channel. Don't forget to hit subscribe.